When I was a kid, I remember lying in my bed at night, afraid of the dark, trying to convince myself that there wasn't a monster under the bed or a vampire in the closet. And that just didn't really work for me. In a practical sense, I knew those monsters, those creatures weren't real, but I just couldn't get over the fear. So I decided to take a different approach. Instead of convincing myself that those dangers, those monsters, weren't real, I decided I would convince myself that they were 100% real, that they were there, but they couldn't hurt me, that I was going to make myself a person that couldn't be defeated by those monsters. And that made all the difference for me. And I wasn't approaching it from the perspective of, I think I'm super tough, or that I am a fighter, or anything like that. It was just the idea of, okay, instead of trying to convince myself that this danger isn't there, I'm going to convince myself that it is there, but it's not going to have power over me. That it's not going to have control over me. And that's something I really did as a kid, and without understanding it at the time, I think it has informed a lot of the things that I've done in life since, the way that I really look at the world. And it's really all about reframing a situation, about looking at it from a different perspective, a different angle. And we have that power. Too often we're willing to give that power up. We say, I don't like this situation, I don't like this person makes me mad, this thing upsets me, and we give the power of how we feel, we give that power to other people and to situations. Well, really, that's something we have control over. We have control over how we're going to look at a situation. We control our perspectives. And that's what we're talking about this week. This is Family Time 121. We're back to self-management. And we're looking at how we can reframe a situation, look at it a different way. We have opportunities to do this every day in our lives. We go out to our car in the morning. We're on our way to school. We're on our way to the weight room, whatever it is. Car won't start. We can either be mad, we can be upset, we can be angry. Car didn't start, I'm going to be late. But we don't know what would have happened if the car would have started. Maybe we start the car, we head out on time, on our normal schedule, but at that moment, somebody's flying down the gravel road, hits our car, and we're killed. We're badly injured. The trouble is, we don't get the opportunity to play out those scenarios. However, we can decide to reframe the situation. We can decide that this is an inconvenience, that we can be upset about it, that this is the start of a bad day, or we can at least recognize that maybe this is the best thing that ever happened to us. Maybe the car starting saved our lives. We don't know that. Probably not. But instead of looking at it through a negative lens, we can look at it through a positive lens. And say, I don't know. If I trace this out, this moment may have been the moment that changed my life for the better. That's what I want us to try to do this week. Pick something in your life that is an annoyance, or is a point of trauma, something that makes you angry, something that you just don't like. And then try to look at it from a different perspective. Try to think about what good might come from that thing. and try to break it down into a manageable piece. I think I've talked about before, but I remember doing that when I had all those health problems, starting when I was 28 years old, really going until the time I was about 32 years old. And when I was really, really sick, in the early stages of that, and I felt really bad, just felt physically miserable all the time. And then that starts to wear mentally. I remember having the thought that, okay, I hope this gets better. I hope I get healthy again. But if that doesn't happen pretty soon, I kind of hope it kills me. Because at 28, 29 years old in the early part of it, I'm like, I don't think I can do this for 50 years. Like, if this is not a life-threatening thing and I just feel this way, I don't think I can live this way for 50 years. But then I went, hang on. We don't live 50 years at a time. Nobody does. We live 1 second at a time. And I've done this for 1 second already. I've done this for many seconds feeling this way. Can I do this for 1 second? Yeah, I just did. Just did another second. If I did that for 1 second, that's all I have to do is keep hitting that 1 second. Well, okay, then this becomes bearable. And then, if I can bear this thing, if I can tolerate this, well then maybe there's an opportunity there. Maybe there's an opportunity there for me to do some self-exploration. Maybe there's an opportunity there for me to teach some other people about getting through challenging times. Then, even in the middle of it, even when it's not enjoyable, I can find a silver lining. I can find a sense of purpose in it, in the hardship. And that is such an incredible power that we all possess. All of you have that ability, that power, to take the worst of things and say, okay, what can I take away from this? What can I learn from this? Then it stops being an obstacle and it starts being an opportunity. Start off with a little thing. Start off with something simple, but start with some challenge in your life and then try to look at it in a different way. Frame it in a way that gives you power. That's one of the things that I love so much about creativity, visual arts and writing, all these sorts of things. It's taking information in the world, taking our existence and trying to frame it in a way that makes sense for me, that allows me to work through things. Because life is complicated. It is dangerous. It is painful at times. But if we can reframe how we look at it, then we can gain so much from those experiences. And we can stop looking at things as just good or bad. We can let events of our lives just be events and recognize that the good or the bad is a label we put on those things. And when we take ownership of that, we can decide to label it, decide to frame it, and decide to use it however best serves us. Much love.